Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and let's be real, who hasn't battled that dry, tasteless turkey? You know what I'm talking about. Hours in the oven, looks nice, but when you slice into it, all you get is dry, flavorless meat that leaves everyone reaching for the gravy just to be able to choke it down. It's so disappointing. But what if I told you there's a technique that turns your turkey into a moist, juicy masterpiece? Soft, flavorful, and practically falling off the bone every single time. In this video, I'm walking you through it step by step. No more dry turkey. Let's make your next turkey dinner unforgettable. Let's get right into it. Alright, so I got my 16-pound turkey, and this is my mission, is I want to cook this thing as quickly as possible, and I want it to be as juicy and fall off the bone soft as possible. Now, before we continue, I just want to talk about the problem with roasting a whole turkey is that white meat and dark meat take different times to cook. So what happens is that by the time that you cook the drumsticks and the thighs, the breasts are way overcooked. And so usually what you end up with is a turkey that looks good, but it's really hard to cut, and the white meat is just drier than a bucket of sand. Roasting a turkey is the traditional way of doing it, but it's a dry heat method, which means that it can dry things out. So the method I'm going to show you is a two-part method. First, I'm going to cut the turkey down to size so that it cooks quicker and more evenly, and I'm going to cook it by braising it. Now, braising means that I'm going to cook it with some liquid in there, and I'm going to cover it. So the liquid and the steam that form inside of the roasting pan is not only going to tenderize the meat, but it's going to make it really juicy and really flavorful. Now, I am going to cut up this turkey into individual pieces, and you're probably asking yourself, well, why don't you just go buy individual pieces already at the grocery store? And you certainly could. You could skip this whole step, and you can buy like turkey breasts, turkey drumsticks, turkey thighs, whatever part of the turkey you want that's already cut up at the grocery store. That's totally fine. But this is really, really cheap. I paid like 71 cents a pound for this whole turkey. So whole turkey is going to be much cheaper than individual parts. So I like to do this myself. So skip ahead if you want, but here's how to cut up a whole turkey into individual pieces. I use a really big knife and I use a rubber mallet. So I flip the turkey onto its back. So there's the back of the turkey. Here's the spine of the turkey. And what I want to do is cut the spine of the turkey. So one big slit all the way down the back so I can split the turkey open. Now there's lots of bones in there, so I'm using my mallet with my big knife, and easy peasy, there we go. And you just start cutting through the turkey using brute force. Okay, it doesn't matter if the inside of the turkey is still a little bit frozen. A mallet and a big chef knife will work its way right through it. Alright, now that I've split the back of the turkey, I'm going to just pry it open, just like that. These are my most prized possessions. I love turkey giblets, the gizzards, the heart, the liver. In my house when I was growing up, we always used to fight over these parts. My absolute favorite. Now this leftover bunch of ice is really easy to remove, so just pick out all the ice, throw it in the sink. And I'm just going to take my knife here and just finish splitting across the breasts. And I have my turkey split in half. Alright, so now you have your turkey split into two halves, and at this point you could actually cook the turkey just like this, and it would save you a whole bunch of time versus cooking it by roasting it whole. But like I mentioned before in the video, I'm actually going to go further and break this turkey down into individual pieces. Alright, first thing I'm doing is removing the wing, so I get into that joint and cut out the joint, remove the wing, get rid of the tip, cut it in half, and it goes in the roasting pan. Over here, I'm taking the leg quarter and the breast and separating them. Okay, so here's my drumstick, and I'm getting to that joint, and there's the thigh. Alright, now here's the breast, and on the underside we have the breastbone and the ribs, so we want to separate that. So I'm just taking my knife and separating the meat from the bone. Just like that, get in there. This meat's a little frozen, so it actually makes it pretty easy to work with. And you can save this part here for bone broth or for making soup. Now I have all my individual turkey parts in my roasting pan. It doesn't really matter what goes where, but I like to put the breasts on the bottom so they braise right in that liquid and get really, really tender. The seasoning is really simple. I'm just going to take some chicken bouillon and put a little bit of that on the bottom of the pan so that when I add water, it'll turn into chicken stock. Or you can just put in chicken stock. And then I'm going to sprinkle some all-purpose adobo seasoning over top, just like that. If you guys watch all my videos, you know this is my signature move here, minced parsley and garlic. You can add 1.5 cups to 2 cups of water. Remember that turkey is going to release a lot of its own juices, so you don't need to put too much liquid into the roasting pan. So we have our nicely seasoned turkey pieces in this roasting pan, and like I said, we're going to braise this. It's going to be super tender, fall off the bone, and I'm going to put it in the oven for about 2.5 hours at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright guys, here's the final product. Perfectly roasted turkey, juicy, really soft. Look at this, it just comes apart, fork tender. Okay, you don't need a knife, and the skin is actually nice and crunchy. Meat is soft. Let's get a drumstick over here, and look, the meat just slips right off. Because it's so soft and moist, you don't need any gravy. I'm just going to put some of the braising juices over the meat. This turkey turned out so good. I hope you guys are going to do this for Thanksgiving. You're going to be glad you did. I served this one. I wanted to go a little healthy, so I put some nice braised green cabbage with it. And I also roasted some sweet potatoes. And this is just such a nice, healthy way to have something that's still really, really enjoyable. Later on, when it cooled down, I shredded all the meat by hand. And what I like to do is put all the dark meat on the left and put all the white meat on the right. And then pour the braising liquid over it before I put it in the fridge. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you're going to go out there and prepare turkey like this for your Thanksgiving. Believe me, you're going to enjoy it. Your guests are going to love it. Really nice, soft, juicy, flavorful turkey. No more dry turkey if you braise it. Make sure you support the channel by subscribing, giving it a thumbs up, and sharing it with someone who you know loves turkey. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chef Christian signing off. I'm going to go eat turkey and put myself into an early Thanksgiving turkey coma. I will check you guys on the next video.